Hello and welcome to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life podcast with your host Avik. So today we are exploring the fascinating topic, which is the power of growth mindset for mental health. And today we have our guest Sasha, who is a licensed professional counselor who runs a successful online health and personal development coaching program. So, Sasha is passionate about helping busy professional women feel confident in their own skin and overcome self limiting beliefs. Her program, Inner Anthem Academy, has helped thousands of people to achieve their health and wellness goals, which includes 9 individuals who have lost their 100 pounds. With over 12 years of professional experience, she is a true expert in the field of mental health and personal development. Apart from this, like apart from the professional work, she is also an adventure seeker and a lover of animals. But most importantly, she is a mother of two incredible children who are under 2 years of age, right? So we are so much excited to have Sasha on our show today to share her insights on the power of growth mindset on mental health. So let's get started. So welcome, Sasha. It's true incredible, and I would say it's a great honor for me to have you on my show. And definitely, how are you feeling today?
Thank you so much. Well, I feel awesome after that amazing intro. Thank you for that.
Great, great. And definitely, I believe most of our listeners would love to know about the personal development because mental health is something it's very much important nowadays. It's not nowadays,
Mhm.
but it's very, very important for our lives as well. So, on this, I have few things in my mind which I thought I'll definitely ask you when you just come to our show. So, just to start with, how would you define a growth mindset? And what are some of the key characteristics of someone who has the one? So how will you define?
Yes. So, a growth mindset to me is somebody that is looking in the present and also in the future. They may not have these certain character traits yet that they want to have, but they realize that yet is so important. They talk to themselves in a certain way that enables them to see a future and that growth instead of staying so fixed where they are. And they know they have that potential inside of them to better themselves, to achieve what they want to achieve. So much of what I teach and what I want to work with so many women on is just being able to change the language of how they speak to themselves and then that belief system of how they are thinking and moving forward and staying so stuck. Um, and I think just in today's world, everything is so negative, and we're so drawn to the drama and the negative that's happening in everybody's lives instead of looking forward and not investing our time and energy into the things that are just not serving us.
Yeah, definitely true. It's like too much of negativity, and we don't want that. So positive vibes always required. So
Yes.
yeah, along with this, that's really interesting. So what are some common challenges, or maybe obstacles you can say, that people might face during trying to adopt the growth mindset, and how they can overcome these challenges? So if you can highlight something.
Sorry, you froze on me for a second.
Okay. Let me just repeat it. So basically, so it's very important also, but there are a few things like what could be the common challenges for someone
Mhm.
who want to try, or maybe who are trying to adopt these changes about the growth
Mhm.
mindset, and how they can overcome these challenges. If you can highlight.
Yes. I think the biggest thing is our belief system. And so the biggest challenge is breaking a lot of limiting beliefs that people have. And that can come from a wide range of things like culturally, what have we experienced? How were we raised? Those messages that we were told growing up, certain traumas, things that we've dealt with in our lives, the times that we've failed in the past or feel like those times have been failures and being so stuck in that's our story. And that's a big challenge that I have to face and that I work with so many women on is being able to break this belief system that those things define you or those past failures or those past things are where you're stuck at. And so that's going to be a repeated pattern. And we're going to break that. So I have to really dig into the mindset side of things on what are these things that have put you in this cycle that have not allowed you to grow and not allowed you to achieve your goals that you're going after. And then once we're able to dive into those and unlock those little mysteries, if you will, of what's been holding everybody back, it's like we're free. Our mind, we're just able to achieve so much. And so that's the biggest obstacle that I face. And then just really building that relationship is so important because I have to have that trust. I have to have that honesty from whoever I'm communicating with and working with. So that way we can really just dig into the dirty things that we don't always like to just, put out there. And once we're able to do that, it's like there's no stopping us. Our where we go is limitless, I always feel like.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing, it's very, very clear that growth mindset can have a lot of benefits for mental health and well-being. But thing is, in what ways specifically can it contribute to improved mental health? So are there any specific mental health conditions or challenges that can, or maybe that a growth mindset is particularly helpful for?
I feel like having a growth mindset specifically for just even anxiety, depression, overcoming trauma, like all of those things are able to really be addressed by shifting how we think and how we view situations. And like I said, not living so much in that past and not letting certain conditions define us, but realizing that you have the full potential to be able to grow and to change your story and that narrative. And like I said, I've seen so many people just from a personal perspective, professionally, that so many things of their mental health change once we're able to unlock the way that they talk to themselves. And that's really what a growth mindset is. It's like, what's that inner dialogue? How are we communicating with ourselves? So that way we can change how we communicate with ourselves, what we're actually saying and putting out into the universe. So that way we can get you to where you want to go and even lessen some of those symptoms that we have sometimes. It's not going to solve everything. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody it's like, oh, let me teach you this and it's going to solve every problem in your life and your anxiety and depression is going to be gone. But if I can take you from a 9 or a 10 to a 5 or a 6, I would much rather have you living in that state than constantly in this heightened state of fight or flight.
So that will be a kind of better stage, like they can achieve. So, so with this, like for someone who may be interested in kind of cultivating this growth mindset into their daily lives, so what could be the some practical strategies or techniques that one can use to develop this mindset? I mean, over time. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is first to realize what things are on repeat in your mind that you realize are negative or that you realize are very self-critical. Okay. So first of all, I would start with that. What are the negative things that you tell yourself? Like, how are you constantly critiquing yourself? And then we start with those statements and we change the way that you say those things to yourself. So like, instead of I'm a failure, that is something that's very much a fixed mindset. We just change the way that we say that. Like, I haven't learned this skill set yet. And that is a growth mindset. So first of all, just being able to identify what those common patterns are, and we'll start there. And that's the biggest thing I can tell somebody. It's like your biggest issues are constantly on repeat in your mind.
So is it something like we are going to train our minds, so it's only because the mind thing, so whatever we are thinking, if we think in a positive way, that will actually affect, right? So
I think thinking in a positive or even in a neutral way. It's
Okay.
hard for people to see things being so positive and sunshine and rainbows when you're stuck in this state of depression or anxiety or feeling like so many things are crumbling around you. And so I'm like, you don't always have to think that everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. But if you can stay in a very neutral state and like things aren't perfect, but I know they can be better, then even just being able to put yourself in neutral and not go so far positive or just stay in that stuck in that negative, we have that room and we have that time to grow.
That's really perfect. And so with this, like so there's something going to my mind, like for someone who may be struggling with their mental health, or like they're feeling stuck in the fixed mindset. So what advice would you give them to start shifting towards a more growth kind of perspective?
Even first of all is to always reach out for help, somebody that is unbiased, and that's why I believe so highly in counseling and coaching. And so even for me personally is like I am a licensed therapist, and being able to transition and moving into this coaching realm really allows me to have so much more of an authentic relationship and to speak more freely, and that suits my personality really well. And so being able to find somebody that can give you that unbiased opinion and that you feel like you can connect with and share what is holding you back is just the first step. Is find somebody that you can talk to that's not going to judge you,
Correct.
right? And so and then from there we realize, okay, these are the things that are holding me back, and then we begin to implement, okay, what's that inner dialogue? Like I said, first of all, it's like, what is that inner dialogue? How do we need to shift and move those things around? But Google, of course, is always our friend, and YouTube nowadays. And it's like, even just being able to Google and YouTube, how can we change some of those statements if somebody doesn't have the time or the resources yet to be able to invest in coaching or counseling? And start there. That's going to begin to help you realize how you just need to shift those statements and what you're telling yourself. And so I would say, like I said, start there if you need to and realize what those are. Just change those statements. And that's one step. One thing, two things that, like I said, you're constantly telling yourself. We're not looking for a complete 180 overnight.
Definitely, yeah. So one at a time. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's great, Sasha. Right, you have mentioned, like, it's a very important things which you have mentioned, and really people gonna get a lot of benefits from this. And
Thank you.
so with this, like, that's for today's episode of Healthy Mind and Healthy Life. So we hope, like, it's people have really enjoyed listening to you, your insights on the power of growth mindset for mental health. So always we should remember that a growth mindset can help us approach challenges with a positive and open attitude, and can contribute to improved mental health and well-being. So thank you,
Hmm.
Shaka, for sharing your expertise and experience with us. And to our listeners, I believe they have really found this episode informative and inspiring. So it's a request to all my listeners, like, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us on social media and via our website. And always we encourage you to take what you have learned today and apply it on your own life. Thank you for tuning on to Healthy Mind and Healthy Life, and we definitely look forward to sharing more episode with you soon. And thank you, Sasha, for sharing all your insights. It's really grateful.
Thank you so much. It's been great.